Good evening, Fernwood. It is your bisexual or more Bishop Neil, and it's time for us to go from the bicentennial to Bitcoin with another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. We are watching episode 303 today from June 1st, 1977. Yesterday we did a lot of tilling the soil, so let's see what we may be reaping. Yesterday started with the Shumways with Martha serving breakfast and George complaining that he needs time to deal with his bug gun. Kathy thinks that George's obsession has gone a little bit too far, and Grandpa Larkin even pops in to make a remark about that too. When Martha goes to find food for Grandpa's breakfast, she finds the cupboards are bare and asks George when his next paycheck is coming in, after which point George says that he is completely unemployed so that he can focus on the bug gun, and this sends a shock into the family, with Martha fainting away on the breakfast table. However, George tests out his bug gun and it finally works, at which point Max Slattery stops in to claim Martha to bring him back into his life. George and Mac have a bit of a face-off, which leads to Mac accidentally smashing George's bug gun, leaving George miserable because he's not sure if he can fix it, and he's also not sure if he'll be able to pay the rent. Next door at the Hartmans, Mary is putting her oven holders on the fridge when Kathy comes by to ask of a supply of groceries for her and the Shumways. When it comes to the decisions going on in Mary's mind, Kathy is on the side of choosing Tom, her husband, and Mary comes back saying that it's complicated, and Kathy finishes the sentence by saying, "Because you're in love with another man." Over at the Jeter apartment, Merle is jealous because Wanda is the one getting attention for a presidential bid in 1980. He tosses it in Wanda's face that he's the elected party and she has never been elected to anything, and Wanda comes back that she's got plenty of experience since she's been a politician's wife since longer than they've known each other. Merle's mother, Adeline, comes in and is skeptical when Merle wants to help her with her sack of flour. The Jeters ask her to choose between them when it comes to voting for president, and she chooses Wanda, which leaves Merle feeling unappreciated and Wanda feeling energized. And then finally we're at the Hartman kitchen with another visit from Kathy, who spies Tom Hartman coming out in a whole new getup. Mind you, she did give him advice to sort of macho it up, but she feels like this look seems a bit desperate. Tom is more concerned that it leave an impression on Mary, and Kathy leaves with a giggle as Mary walks in with the groceries. Mary seems speechless to recognize her husband in an entirely different look, but she also feels like Tom is trying to get to know how she feels inside. But it's really not the curls that attract her to Dennis. Mary says that she loves Tom, but also that there are things that she cares about for Dennis, and it seems to everyone that Mary is teeter-tottering on the brink of indecision. I'm feeling so much push and pull right now, so I think it's time for us to just watch this Wednesday episode.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman!
Hev, can you do me a favor and...
What's the matter?
You look so neat. You really look neat. I mean, the way people used to use that word neat. I mean, you don't look like a slob anymore.
Swell. I'm real good. But I don't really have time to talk about it. I've got a date.
A date? You have a date? Is that why you look this way? Oh, sweetheart. Sweetheart, I'm so glad. Let me hug you. I'm so glad, sweetheart. I'm so glad you're beginning to act like a teenager now. I'm just so proud of you.
That's out of date. I mean, you'll embarrass me. I just don't want you to do that. I mean, I don't want you to be in the same room as me.
But Heather, a mother is still a mother. That's one thing that will never change. It's biologically impossible. So why can't I meet him? Please, Heather, I'll be good.
Oh, you're a drag. He's here. Come on, out of the room, out of the room.
No, I have things on the stove that are gonna burn.
No more excuses.
Okay, Heather, I'm going to leave you alone. You can do what you want. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to make any rules either.
Good.
Except one. No fooling around and no touching, and just feel free to offer an apple if he wants one to your little friend.
Hello. Come right in. Glad you could come by.
Oh, anytime. Well, what did you want to talk to me about?
Oh, come on, sit down. You like some coffee?
No, thank you. Is your mom here?
Come on, have some coffee.
I'm not interrupting or anything. I just happen to think that there's some Sara Lee pumpkin cake in the refrigerator in case your little friend, should get hungry or anything like that. So, I'll go get it for you, Henry.
Hello, Mary. You okay?
Oh, yeah. Hi, Dennis. Heather, why don't you go, into your room till your date gets here?
My date is here.
Your date is Dennis?
You got it.
Am I the only one around here who finds this a little unhealthy?
Mary, do you honestly believe that I made a date with Heather?
You did. Dennis, I love you.
Heather called me and told me there was something she wanted to talk to me about. I was hoping that it was you.
Heather, go to the other room.
You think you can keep me apart from him, don't you? You're wrong.
Dennis, do you realize that the child has a crush on you?
I'm hoping that her mother also has a crush on me.
I never realized that before. What a new twist! Teenage children can be very vulnerable. They're very sensitive, especially girls. I mean, you have to be so gentle with them. Heather!
Mary, I realize that unrequited love can be very rough on a kid. It can also be very tough on an adult.
Are you referring to anybody I know?
Tell Heather to come in here, and I'll straighten things out with her, and then you come back, because I want to talk to you.
You're just amazing. I mean, you always just seem to know what to do. And you always seem to want to do it. Thanks, Dennis.
I hope you're ready to apologize.
Listen, Heather, sit down.
Want me to get some coffee?
No coffee. Let's sit. I am very flattered that you like me, but I honestly don't think you love me.
In other words, you don't want to fool around with jailbait.
That's part of it, yes.
Thanks for talking to me like an adult, not some dopey kid.
I don't think you're a dopey kid. I like you, and I would like us to be friends.
You're an okay guy.
Thank you.
I don't want to hear it.
Merle, how would you feel about my appointing a homosexual as Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare?
Mm-hmm. Might want to throw in a wetback there just for good measure.
Oh, well, there's a thought. You know, ethnicity will be a sticky issue, particularly during the primary campaigns.
Are you really sitting there with your face hanging out, planning on being the next president of the United States?
Merle, that hurts. You know, I'd be backing you 100% if your plans to run hadn't gone down the tubes.
You forget that, see, I'm the one with the personal charm with the people. I'm the one with the down-home, folksy manner. I'm the one that has Adeline as the mommy.
Merle, you seem to be forgetting something here.
What's that?
Well, I'm the one with the money riding on her tail.
Wanda, you're very greedy. That might appear to be very ugly in a presidential campaign.
You whining about something again, Merle?
No.
Well, Merle's just upset about my decision to run for the presidency, Mother Adeline.
Now you listen, Chowderhead. The only way you are going to get anywhere near Washington is on Wandy's coattails, so I'll thank you to show a little gratitude. Now you keep your mouth shut and we'll all sleep in the White House.
Oh, Merle, not only sleep, but look, you're going to have your own office with an engraved nameplate and stationery and a really important desk.
Wait a minute here. I'm being cheated out of the presidency of the United States by my own wife, and now you're offering me writing paper. Mommy, what about my feelings here? What am I supposed to be, the caboose on the end of my wife's train?
Selfish and prideful, Wandy. Always has been, ever since he was little. Always tried to hog all the toys away from his darling little brother, Mickey Mo.
All right, I think that's about enough of that, Mommy.
Well, Merle, you never told me you had a brother.
I don't have a brother.
Well, but
Now, look, sure, there's some slob running around out there calling himself my brother, but I disowned him years ago.
why?
Wanda, do we have to discuss everything in this house?
Mickey Mo never did nobody no dirt, including you. Never. He always was a darling little boy. The reason this one's crazy jealous is because of his nose.
His nose?
In the middle of his face, he has got the cutest little pug nose your two blue eyes ever did look at. And the reason this one's jealous is because of that ski chute he's got down the center of his face.
I refuse to talk about Mickey Mo's nose.
Oh, I'll get it.
Mickey Mo!
Mama! Oh, Jesus!
Oh, darling boy. Oh, I'm so glad you have came. Now we got the whole family campaigning for the White House. Oh.
Well, hey there, Brother Merle. Long time no see.
Matt?
Honey, you see? He's starting to feel at home already.
It's just a little hoot, Charlie.
He's going to be fine, honey. I'm going to get some more wood for that fire.
Johnny Doe? Hon, will you come over here and... Mama, hug you a minute? My darling. Listen, I just wanted to, let you know that your daddy and I, is real reluctant to give you up, and, I don't want you to think that we're deserting you or nothing, okay? Because, see, if you take to the wilds, then that's where you really should be, I guess. We was gonna have this real fine American-type family. Sure would have been nice if it could have been different. We could have gone to the movies and watched television together. And I had this real great idea about the summer we was all gonna hop in the car and maybe haul out for Disneyland. It really would have been nice.
Everything all right, honey?
Yeah, it's fine. breaking to a million. Who said that parting was such sweet sorrow? There ain't nothing but sorrow about this parting, Charlie. There ain't no smidgen of sweet.
Oh, sweetheart, you just gotta remember, it's for a boy's own good. It's for his own good.
Johnny Doe, hon, come on, it's cold now. Come on, get in this bag. Come on. Baby boy?
Leave him be. Leave him be, honey.
Charlie's gonna freeze his little bucket.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Now just give him a
Charlie.
chance, honey, to survive on his own terms.
Look at him, he's just sitting there.
Honey, give him time.
Now, come on, you're gonna miss.
I can't.
You're gonna mess it up. You're gonna mess it up. Now, come on. Come on here.
Charlie, he doesn't want to go to the jungle. He wants to stay with us.
Honey, that's what you'd like to believe in your heart, and I'd like to believe it too, honey, but it just ain't true. Now, come on, we just gotta to tough it out, honey. We just gotta wait it out. See, honey, it's gonna be all right. Now, come on in here and get to bed. Loretta, get to bed. Come on. Honey, don't panic. Don't panic. Probably just you smelled our food. Come to have a little look-see.
Oh, God, Johnny, don't move.
Don't move a muscle. Don't move anything. I think they're talking to each other. Honey, I think our little boy's almost ready to go back to the wilderness.
This must be that heart-wrenching moment all parents have to go through when their children leave home to go like to the Marines or the priesthood or something. The only difference is Charlie. Come Mother's Day, our little boy won't even be able to phone home and say howdy.
Chris.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Wanda. How are you?
Listen, I just dropped over to give you these posters of Merle.
Merle Jeter won't run for president in 1980? Come on, who are you kidding? Everybody knows you'll run.
Well, as they say at the polls, don't count on it. And what are you doing?
I'm thinking of redecorating the whole kitchen, you know, because Mary spends a little surprise for you. You know, she spends about, what, 80% of her time in here, you know, cleaning and cooking and washing and drying. And I just figured it'd be nice, a little color change. It'd be perk things up a little bit. I got some colors right here. What do you think of these right here?
Oh, let's see. Well, maybe this virginal violet.
Yeah.
With just maybe a touch of oh so blue. Yeah. Of course, we're talking about Mary's taste and not my own. Tom, look, I'm going to say something, and you're probably going to think it's meddlesome, but I'm going to just blurt it out. If you're doing this to please Mary, don't you think the bedroom holds better opportunities?
Hey, look, Wanda, I know that, you know, redecorating this whole place is not going to save my marriage. It's not going to make or break it, but it's the best I can do. I mean, all I can do is keep trying. I mean, it's hard to get through to Mary. Believe me, it's hard.
Oh, by the way, she's not home now, is she?
No, she's probably out somewhere with Dennis Foley, you know.
Oh, well.
What the hell, I was out somewhere, too. I'll tell you, I don't know what the hell's the use.
Boy, Tom, you know, if it's any consolation to you at all, what you're suffering here is just the ordinary pitfalls of marriage, you know. Alienation, boredom, resentment, frigidity, eventual homosexuality.
Yeah.
Believe me, Tom, I understand it. It isn't easy sitting by and watching your wife have the fling of her life.
No, it isn't. No.
And then, too, it must be heartrending coming home to an empty house, you know, alone and isolated.
Yeah, it is.
Tom, you are talking to the right person when it comes to the pangs of rejection and unrequited love. Don't forget, I've been married to Commissioner Rittenhouse and Merle Jeter. Politicians are famous for their lack of communication.
Yeah, listen now, Wanda, I know you mean real well and everything, but you're not comforting me at all.
Oh, Tom, oh, God, I'm so sorry. Well, I guess being cuckolded is never a joke, is it?
I've never been lonelier in my life.
Yeah. You know, Tom, sometimes it seems to me that marriage is a vast mystery. Boy, you know, sometimes you pass like ships in the night and sometimes you collide. Does your heart ever feel about as barren as the Sahara? Your stomach a pit as deep as Grand Canyon? Your desire a volcano? Your rejection an iceberg?
Oh, yeah.
Tom, man needs woman.
Woman?
Yeah, woman, the tender compassion of a woman, her arms to cradle you, her lips to soften you, her fingers to caress you, you know.
Yeah.
Melting eyes and cool, smooth skin and two breasts to lean on or even to fall asleep on if you feel like it. Oh, Tom, how well I understand it. The yin and the yang of it, you know, the yearning and the submission, the chase and the catch. Tom, what are you doing? Tom, please, I understand this. I really do. Listen, you wouldn't be human if you didn't reach out to another human being for solace, especially someone who gave you her love in the slammer. But, Tom, I'm kissing my neck and my abdomen and my legs, Tom.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't know. What am I doing? What am I doing?
Tom, I wish you hadn't said that.
I swear to you, I don't know what the hell's going on with me.
Oh, poor baby. Tom, I think what's needed here is for you to find a vent for this passion. And, all things considered, perhaps home improvement is the solution. Lots of luck and bye.
And the wheel keeps turning. This episode starts with Mary noticing that Heather is dressed up for a date. Heather is doing the typical teen thing of being embarrassed. I remember being embarrassed about dating stuff when I was a teenager, so it makes sense. I feel like that's par for the course. Maybe I'm wrong. If you have different experiences, go ahead and share that with me. But in this case, Heather is acting out her crush on Dennis Foley, which is to say she's called him over and she thinks of that as a date. I've been seeing this video in my feed about a crush, so I'm just going to pop it up here. I haven't watched it yet. I'm probably going to watch it after I shoot. But Heather is acting out this date, and then Mary comes in, and, well, that's certainly awkward for her. Dennis is very clear that this isn't a date. Heather appreciates that. I think Mary even appreciates that Dennis was willing to do the talk with her, with Heather. So it seems like we have a growing admiration for Dennis when it comes to Mary and even Heather. Tom, on the other hand, I feel like him, actually, in a lot of ways, because I'm really uncomfortable with this. And then we're with the Jeters, and Merle continues to be jealous of the attention that Wanda is getting, and Adeline is on Wanda's side and says that Wanda is the one that's going to get them into the White House. And then we hear about Mickey Moe, which is Merle's estranged brother, and then we meet him. So apparently there's going to be a storyline. And I wonder if this is the Jimmy Carter versus Billy Carter dynamic of the 1970s. Billy Carter was Jimmy's brother who had some business dealings and created Billy Beer, which seemed to be trading on the name of Carter as the president of the time. We don't know yet, but it definitely feels like Mickey Moe is a bit more rough around the edges than Merle. And then we're in the woods with the Haggers, and I thought when we last saw them that they felt like Johnny Doe was gonna be fine, but I think that means that Johnny Doe was gonna be fine out in nature, like he had his survival instinct. This is clearly two parents trying to figure out the right thing to do and not seeing the same way, because Charlie believes that putting him in nature would be for his best, and Loretta feels like he needs to be home with them. And I don't know how to square that circle, right? How to make those points of view work together. They're just opposing. When JD sees Loretta crying, he comes over to comfort her, and she thinks that that is a sign that he wants to come back with them. But then we see our wolf, who, when I saw the wolf in this episode, I thought it might be the same wolf that comforted Charlie when he was sitting on that bridge way back earlier in the season. But, that would just be a weird coincidence. However, this is JD communing with nature again. There's sort of a howling standoff, and then they're a little more calm to each other, and JD goes over and gives the wolf some affection. And this to Charlie means that JD is ready to go out into nature. And I don't know what this means, because we still have Loretta's feelings. JD's feelings are fairly unclear. It seems like Charlie is coming from a place of love here. It's not like he's just trying to kick the kid out because he doesn't care for him. What Charlie is thinking is that this boy is miserable in the place where we have kept him, and he would be less miserable out in the wild. So it's really a different point of view with Loretta, and I don't know where this is going. And then we see Tom and Wanda together, and we know that they had sex when he was in jail, and that Wanda does find at least a little bit of attraction for him. Two things are going on before we get to the heart of the scene, and that is that Tom is still trying to win Mary's heart, and he's struggling to find a way to reach her, so redecorating the kitchen is his idea. It means something to me that Tom actually cares to try something even when he's having trouble. And I don't know what happens off screen with them. That's something that we can only speculate about. He does want to make Mary's life better. That's something that I have to stand by. He wants Mary's life to be better. I don't know if he knows what that is. And in trying to reach out to Mary yesterday, he didn't hit the mark. He's just trying things. that's better than where he was a couple of days ago when he was just thinking about it. Talking to her hasn't worked. Changing his look hasn't worked. Changing the kitchen, well, we'll see if there's a whole new kitchen tomorrow. Then we see the latent attraction between Tom and Wanda play out a bit, because Wanda responds to Tom's call for reaching out to his wife by saying that men need women, right? A husband needs a wife, I suppose. And things get fairly sexual, right? Tom pounces on Wanda and starts nibbling on her, and then pulls himself away, and Wanda's response is, "I wish you hadn't said that." I'm not sure if it is the thing that he said when he pulled away to say he doesn't know why he's doing this. Not sure if that's what she wished that she hadn't heard, or the whole thing of him just nibbling on her. She doesn't seem totally turned off, but there's definitely some kind of barrier at this point, which makes sense. They established that they were friends to each other. Wanda clearly knows Tom has some issues in his marriage. I don't know if Wanda, in the past, Wanda would sleep with whomever she wanted, and I'm not sure what's going on here. And we're doing Kathy Shumway's list of lovers again, and now we're going to take the period in the second half of season 1, which is a bit of a jumble because Kathy was seeing a few different guys around the same time. There's a little bit of overlap, there's a little bit of interplay there, but, I guess this is how we got to do it. So the first name on this list today is Dennis Foley, who, when he showed up earlier in this episode, I didn't think that he was really dating Heather, but he was doing the same thing with Heather in a way that he was doing with Kathy, which was he took advantage of the situation to put himself closer to Mary. That was what was happening when Kathy dated Dennis, and she dated him for a few weeks or a month. It felt like. It's been ages since I've watched those episodes, but they dated for quite a long time, and it was always Kathy loving Dennis and Dennis having strong feelings for Kathy. However, he loved Mary. That was never hidden from Mary, at least. Kathy never knew what was going on, that Dennis was still really, really putting the attention on Mary. Things got a little gross then. My feelings of grossness towards Dennis started before then, but things definitely got gross around that time. I'm not going to say how that wrapped up, but we know that they're not together now. Then Clete Meisenheimer, our famous newscaster, started to have a bit of a relationship with Kathy, hiring Kathy to be on the news channel as their sort of weather girl, as Kathy described it yesterday, a pretty face. And she was starting to work her way up the ladder in the news station and dating Clete at the same time, and that didn't necessarily go too well. They got a bit more serious, even consulting with our next name on the list, Father DeMarco. So this is where things get especially complicated, because Father DeMarco was a friend of Clete's and their advisor, their Catholic religion advisor, when it came to the potential of Clete and Kathy getting married. But it turns out that Kathy and Clete did not see eye to eye on how their relationship would work. And also, Kathy was feeling an attraction for Father DeMarco. A lot of commenters here for Good Evening Fernwood were saying at the time it was a reference to the Thornbirds, which was sort of a priest meets lovely woman kind of romance that was going on in the 1970s. So that was that plot playing out. But really, that was some big emotions happening there, and that happened toward the end of season 1. And I already mentioned earlier that Kathy had different things going on at the start of season 2. So everyone, that was our Wednesday entry of Kathy Shumway's list of lovers. Thank you so much for watching with me. Thank you so much for leaving your thoughts, feelings, and impressions down in the comments. Thank you for traveling from the bicentennial to Bitcoin with me. and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.